Have you ever felt drained by your job, like you are trapped in some cycle that is sucking the life out of you? Maybe you are an IT professional, the lawyer or doctor, but and maybe you are even successful, but something falls off. Recently in the consultation, I also had such scenario, and the client was admitting that he is feeling like dying. And guess what? The chart was showing exactly that. Well, today we will uncover what makes that specific line not the best for you and how you can identify this in your chart. And as usual, the whole thing will be supported by a nice example. We'll go straight to the Navamsha and the Dashamsa, because in the previous part 1 and part 2, we were identifying how to see those defeat and resignation on the level of Marana Karaka, and then part 2 on the lordship. But in today's lecture, we will specify those exact lines which are not so good for you. So then we are going straight to those advanced charts. So the Marana Karaka may show the authenticity, how you are fulfilled in the experience. The lordship is showing the roles the specific people or objects are playing for you, and also the wires. And the Karaka is that fuel or a substance which is going through that wires and is making everything alive. If you are for some time on this channel, you know that the Jyotisha need few more than one data to predict or estimate something, right? Therefore, we are analyzing those things on different levels because that will be the main, because it's a critique of essentialism, that you cannot say nuanced things using those broad categories like science or plants. But if we combine them, then we can overcome this argument, right? And we know that in modern philosophy, the metaphysics and essentialism fell out of the favor, and therefore astrology also is turned off for some people. So what is the outline? We will be talking about the Karaka, what is the specific thing we must pay attention to. Then we will be talking about that big theory problem and how to see that in your chart. And then we will go to this example, Navamsha and Dashamsa, and the complexity of the analysis, something which can give you $1 million, but also the company is finally ending in insolvency or bankruptcy. So two things which are seemingly opposite are going hand in hand, how to see such complex situations. And at the end, the small recap and practical summary, what to do if we have such situation in our life. Okay, so in the last lecture with Ojas Astro, we were analyzing the lordships, and we found that the Tyaga Yoga, how I call it, when the Lagna Lord was in 12th or 7th Lord was in 6th, these brought some kind of resignation, defeat, or stepping down. How this works now on the Karaka level? There are many things which can define the nature and the blessing or failure of the planet. This could be house position, the strength, or even affliction by the Panchanga Yoga, the Marana Karaka Yoga, or being aspected or joined malefics. There is different way in which planet may be afflicted. But in today's, we will be looking at the Bhava type of affliction, being in the wrong place. Place is Sthana. There is nothing worse than death. You may guess that we will be talking about the Marana Karaka Sthana. But does it mean it will be totally bad? Today's example will teach us that we have to take all of those different aspects of the planet Avashta or the state into account. So if we take all of those aspects of the planet into account, we can mix them. For example, because it aspected the 10th in the Navamsha, it brought a big money, and also the Dashamsa was Nietzsche, also good for money and success, but because it was in the Marana Karaka Sthana, the resources were depleted and insolvency, bankruptcy. So opposite results are possible. And again, how we know that this exact planet was responsible for that problem? What is the helping hand, the tool which will prove that this is the main problematic graha? This will be the dasha, the timing. We will see what planet was activated at that time of stepping down. And we will now see that on the level of Karaka. Indi Navamsha, Indi Dashamsa. So if you want to learn how to see the Audayika Dasha or Narayana Dasha in the Vargas, something which was withheld for some time, and now I'm sharing this for the first time, you can go to the description. There will be a link for that lecture. Okay, so we cannot do anything without the assignment of planets to the specific jobs, or at least the categories. So for the Sun, we are starting always with the Sunday. So the Sun is administrative type of jobs, director, resources, and politics. Moon can be like some form of project manager, like a mother. Then could be, of course, food and the medicines, everything which is related to caring and charity. And sometimes also the being some kind of medium between this administrative bodies and people. Mars has three main things: property, the technology, and security. Mercury, as usual, umbrella of jobs. It's a mix. Mercury is always mixing the tastes and everything. So multiple jobs, and very hard to say which one it could be. But the core will be definitely financial or communication, sometimes a physician. For Jupiter, teaching, consulting, lawyer. Venus is entertainment, management, and media. And Saturn, also many things it can give. It could be maintenance or physical jobs. It could be also things related to stocks or even the social media and even the body. So Rahu is about the research and Ketu is about the routine and perfection. Million times something is multiplied, right? Learning the tricks on skateboard, right? You have to do million times, and then there is a lucky day when you finally land the kickflip. And of course, the IT and small machines. So the concept of Marana Karaka Sthana comes from the Jataka Parijata. Vaidyanatha Dikshita is the author. Kalachakra Dasha, chapter 34, 36 shloka. Now we have this question: which are the worst houses for the planets? So the luminaries, Sun and Moon, above the horizon. Sun in 12, Moon in the 8. So these are Saturnian houses, right? 12 and 8. Saturn is the Bhava Karaka. So luminaries don't like the shadow, right? Also, Rahu is above the horizon because it has Marana Karaka Sthana in the 9th. So Rahu and Jupiter also not the best. You can see that the Bhava Karaka and the planet will have some conflict. Then we have this nice axis, 1st and 7. Saturn in the 1st house has Marana Karaka Sthana. This is the worst house for Saturn. Mars and Mercury in the 7. Mercury is joining Mars here, right? So it's joining Mars, joining Ketu. Then we have below the horizon, Jupiter in 3rd, Venus in the 6th. Mars houses. So these are gurus, right? Jupiter and Venus are gurus. Maybe this hastiness of Mars. They don't like to be hasty. You need to have some space. There must be this time for the passive focus, as they say, to gather and synthesize all the knowledge and then come as some eureka. And then we have, of course, Ketu in the 4th, together in Mercury. So Mercury again joins other, again, fiery planet. So Mercury in the 4th and 7th. And also we see that Moon is Marana Karaka Sthana in the 8th of the Ketu house. There is Scorpio, and Ketu doesn't feel good in the Moon's house. If these planets are strong, then you may get out of Marana Karaka Sthana. That was good information for me. I have Mercury in the 4th, Lagna Lord, right? So I'm dying, but exalted. So after some time, it can be overcome. Now, there is a big difference because Marana Karaka Sthana in Rashi basically means that other people are dying for you. So they are like between you and death. Therefore, if Moon is in 8, the mother can do everything for you. If Venus is in 6, the partner can do everything for you. Situation changes in the Varga because then the resources are depleted. And what is the remedy for that, right? We are against this deterministic, fatalistic stance. We want to have some proactive things. So Pratyadi Devata table. This is what you need. And you will get it in the last video on my channel, the lecture with the Ojas Astron. And we have this table. And then take the Bhava Karaka of that planet, which is in Marana Karaka Sthana. For example, Moon in 8, Bhava Karaka, Saturn. Pratyadi Devata, Narayan. What would be the best mantra? 8-syllable Narayan mantra. Om Namo Narayanaya. In fact, I was doing this mantra for a long time. By the way, it was a secret mantra, hold, secret for many, many years, and then it was given away, I think, by Sri Ramanujacharya. Okay, so enough of this theory, right? Rafal, give us some practical tips, something we can use, actionable tips. We have enough of this philosophy and this abstract thing. We don't understand your videos. Okay, so the Navamsha is like a filter, right? What will stay for some time? You may try this and that, but what will be eventually doing, that will be the Navamsha, and that can get success and that can give you a prosperity. And 10th house in the Navamsha is like the how much Lego blocks you got, right? You got this, this, and that, and then you can create something from that. You can create car, you can create castle. What you will create will depend on the Aruda and the Shamsa, other things. So what luck you have? This will be the 10th house in the Navamsha. And how to see those things? UT, lordship, and drishti, which is the conjunction, the planet which is lording that sign, and the aspect. You need to learn Rasi Drishti. Very easy also in the last lecture. We are giving some small tips how to do it. So in his case, Mars in 10th house, billions from properties, right? We have Mercury and Jupiter. He was a guide there. Ketu, the Lord joining Sun, success in politics. And just like in Donovan's chart, we have Jupiter and Mercury in Rashi, Navamsha and Dashamsa. He was a big professor of management in the mid, but unfortunately he fell down. Scandals, we see that Saturn, Mars, Nicha Graha in Lagna. But Jupiter and Mercury in the 10th house gave him this professor, this teacher career. We have also this real estate $3 billion successful man, Peter Palanjan, and he has this Mars, Saturn everywhere, in the Rashi, in the Navamsha, in the Dashamsa. So we see that this Mars and Saturn, if we combine these two, he was a guide for a board, or in the board, for the property mothers in two companies. So when I saw this chart, I thought, okay, he had big success, right? He earned millions from these positions. And the Jupiter is showing that, right? Aspecting the 10th house, debilitated in the Dashamsa. By the way, this debilitated Graha in Dashamsa can also give you a lot of success and money. It's like when there is a strong wind, you can be either very strong, like exalted Graha, or you can lie down and then this wind will not touch you. So Nicha Graha. So at the end of 2023, this Cigna holding thing went into insolvency. And he was a guide there for a big period of time. And then he was like, he resigned or was fired, or we could call it stepped down. And there was the second company he was also working with, even bigger. This company, people also asked him to resign just to protect this reputation of the company, as was said in the biography. So we can see two businesses, two companies, he's stepping down, and he was the guide there. So therefore, this Jupiterian role, Jupiter has no resources because of the Marana Karaka Sthana in Navamsha and in the Dashamsa. So in the part 1, we saw how this is seen in the Charakaraka level. In the part 2, yesterday's video, we are doing that, lordship level, and now we can see which lines can be resourceless, right? So this is Jupiter, they are dying. And the Narayana Dasha was of Capricorn. This Jupiter in the Shamsa is in the 3rd house in Capricorn. So therefore we can say, we can throw the guilt. Jupiter, it was you doing that. We can see that this complex Avashta planet can give you a big money, big success, but they may not be long-term sustainable. And therefore, this is what happened because of this Marana Karaka placement. Especially this is good when you compare, because we will be not in the position that we have whole palette of job opportunities. Maybe you have, if you are super resourceful, then maybe you have. But usually we are choosing between few or two options sometimes. Then you can first see what type of line is that, and then see how this planet is placed in Navamsha and Dashamsa. If Marana Karaka Sthana, then know that the resources may be depleted. If you have other yogas we were discussing on the Charaka level, lordship level, then you may be forced to step down. But remember, we always can do something, even if you really want to go in that direction. We have the remedies for the Marana Karaka Sthana, but if you have two options and you can switch to the other one, you can test, then why to go against the wind of karmas? Please test the other option. It should give you much better result. At least you may feel not like dying in your career life. Okay, guys, so I think that will do for today. Thanks for sticking till now on this channel. For the consultation, please hit me up with this email here. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. It really helps to spread this word out. Subscribe for more videos like this. And if you'd like to see more about the Dashamsa, please consider watching this one.